Welcome, mindful parents. In today's video, I'll be talking about 3 different ways to prepare your child for a new sibling and what can you do after that baby arrives. Welcoming a new baby to the house is something that is so exciting, but sometimes it can also be challenging if you have other children in the house. So it's very important that we prepare ourselves and our children for the arrival of a new sibling. I always like to share this story when I'm trying to explain to parents how does it really feel for your child when you bring in a new baby. So I say that imagine that your husband or wife comes home with a friend or a partner and they let them into your room. They close the door, and every time you make any sounds, they tell you, shh, don't speak. They're sleeping. And they're wearing your clothes, they're sleeping on your bed, and you are not allowed to say anything, and you're not allowed to throw a tantrum, you're not allowed to scream or rebel or anything. How do you think that would feel? You will probably be feeling jealous. And it's the same thing for your child. They will also feel that somebody's coming into their home, taking over their stuff, and they need to be calm and they need to adapt without having any. So I will share with you 3 things that you can do to prepare your child to welcome a new sibling in the house. So my first tip for you is create a baby book or a baby album of your child when they were babies. So what I did is I just made a book and I had all the different baby pictures when my first son arrived and how we felt about it. And we spoke about all the different feelings and how he needed a lot of attention and a lot of time to play with, that he would cry and sleep and need a diaper change. And that was our life with him, and that's how it was taking care of a new baby. And this way they are becoming a little bit more prepared of what to expect, because some parents say, well, I'm gonna have a baby that you will be able to play with. However, when the baby arrives home, the child is shocked that actually they can't play with the baby, that the baby just cries and is very loud and noisy and sleeps and needs diaper change all the time. So we also need to prepare our children to be realistic of the expectations that they are going to encounter with the new baby. The second step is read books. There's a lot of books that are available now that would prepare a child to understand how is it going to be when mom and dad go to the hospital, if you're going to have a hospital birth. You can even talk about if you are choosing to have a home birth and what are the arrangements that you're going to be making ahead of time. There are some books, amazing books. I remember reading them when I was preparing my kids when my daughter was just before my daughter was going to be born, and these books narrated stories of how sometimes there's a lot of frustration and anger. And that is okay. It's okay to feel that you are frustrated, that the baby's crying, that it's annoying. Acknowledge that feeling. But that doesn't mean, of course, you're going to allow them to harm the baby or scream at the baby. No, but when we acknowledge that feeling, and then you're telling them that, yeah, it might feel very annoying right now that every single minute I have to be with your baby. And just say that. It's okay. Those type of books are amazing because they really bring in the true feeling or thoughts that your child might be thinking, and it's a great time to actually discuss those feelings and talk about them, especially if the baby is not here yet. The third tip that I have for you is buying gifts. So what we did is that we would take our older son, or in this case we took both of our kids, and we went and bought a gift for the new baby. And before the baby arrives, we would go and buy a gift for our kids. And when the baby arrives, when they come in and they welcome the baby or see the baby and meet the baby for the first time, they bring in the gift that they brought for the baby, and in return, the baby will give them a gift back. Now, some people might agree to this or disagree with it. We found that it worked with our family, and we did it, and the kids were super excited, and it showed that, especially that at this time, a lot of people bring gifts for your kids, for your baby. So they see that they are also receiving some kind of gift. Another tip with gift giving from family and friends, you can try and ask your family to bring in gift certificates or money instead of actual physical gifts, to minimize that whole jealousy of the baby receiving so many gifts and them not receiving any gift. Okay, now, so the baby arrived and you are trying to find ways to connect with your child. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that you can do to connect with your child when the baby has arrived. The first tip is, while you're talking to the baby and playing with your baby, and your older son or daughter comes passing by and they want to sit down with you, change the conversation and try to speak in a way that you are telling your baby about your older son or daughter. So for example, you can say, "Oh, Layla, you're so lucky you have Bilal. He is such an amazing big brother. He's been reading a lot of books to know how to deal with babies. And just wait until you get a little bit older and he's going to teach you how to turn the lights on and off, or he's going to teach you how to play soccer. He's going to be your best soccer coach." Step number 2 is really try and connect with your child when the baby is napping, or if you can give them to your spouse. Try and find those small pockets of time during the day where you connect with your child, where you say, "You know what, baby's with dad right now. I am all for you for 5 minutes. What can we do together?" This shows them that you still care, that you still want to connect with them, and that they are also important. Step number 3 is connect with your child while you are breastfeeding. When you are breastfeeding, you can welcome them to sit beside you. You can snuggle up with them, give them a hug. You can read them a story. Another thing that you can do is create a busy box that is only going to be available when you are breastfeeding. So when you're breastfeeding and you want a little bit of more quiet time, get that box out and let them explore what's in it. Try to put things that they are not used to seeing all the time, so it is interesting for them to open up and see what's going to be inside that box. With the busy box, make sure that you don't put that box out all the time, that you only take it out when you are breastfeeding. Another thing that you can do is have a snack together or have a drink together, snuggling up. Now, what you need to keep in mind is that you need to take care of yourself. You need to accept any kind of help that you might receive. Don't be wanting to do everything. Things can wait. Your house is a mess, and that is okay. What is important for you right now is to take care of yourself and to create those strong bonds and relationship with your children. I hope you found those tips helpful. Remember to create peace at home for a peaceful world.